Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 1 p.m. here in Crystal Lake, Illinois. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is Wednesday? Today's Thursday, May 30th, 2024. I only remembered it's Thursday, but I paused. I normally would have remembered it was Thursday, but I paused because we did not put the garbage out today. But we did not put the garbage out today because there was a holiday on Monday that puts the garbage pickup schedule a day back. I'm guessing that there's no one in the system that gets their garbage picked up on Friday. So that must be what it is. But anyway, it's not garbage day, but it is Thursday. I was thrown off for a second. And it's going to be a good Thursday because today we're playing a game. We're playing Name That Shoe. This is episode 9 of Name That Shoe, where I'm going to show you very, very, very close-up pictures of a shoe, and you have to guess what it is. Some of them I feel like you're going to get right away because it's very distinctive. Some of them I think they're going to be pretty hard to figure out. So we'll see how you guys do. First, let's say hi to everyone listening on the audio-only version on the podcast. I will do my best to try and describe what these shoes look like. Maybe people in the chat can help with some descriptions too, but this is going to be one that you probably want to save for later and watch later, but not live. And speaking of that, for those of you watching later but not live, this is the number one place to look at super close-up pictures of shoes that nobody ever asked for. You're in the right place. All right, let's see who we got here in the chat. Mark Peterson says, if these shoes are from about 5 years ago and older, I'll do great. If not, he does the E emoji, right? Is that what that is? It's just all teeth. And their emoji looks concerned. Matt, by the way, Mark, these are all new shoes. I keep looking over there because that's where they were. They're not there now. And I'm trying to remember. I feel like all the shoes that I picked have come out in the last year. So new stuff. Since we haven't played in a while, I didn't want to go too far back. Matt Byer says, this is my kind of game for a shoe nerd. That's right. That's what it's all about. And Elisa says, hi, co-fam. I'm ready to not recognize any shoes. All right. JC says, hello and good afternoon. I'm terrible at this, unlike the other trivia game in which I'm simply bad. Well, don't worry. There's no points and no prizes. And there's no penalties for wrong guesses either. Wrong answers are always encouraged. I am thinking about trying to make these games... I feel like I should try and get a sponsor for these games. Give me 1 second. I got something in my eye. I feel like I'd love to have a sponsor for these games where I could actually have a prize. Right, whoever wins at the end, or I'll just do a random selection of people who played. Because I don't want it to just be about whoever knows the most to keep winning every time. But I feel like there should be a prize. I also kind of like that there's not a prize because that way, when I've had prizes before, people are like, "No, I was the first one to answer," and I totally understand that, and that's a reasonable response. But it stresses me out. So I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. Let's see who we got. Runner Will is in here. What's going on, Will? He says, "What's up, co-famzy?" And Lisa says, "Everything today is going to be Crocs." I think I have no Crocs in this episode, in this installment, that's the right word, in this installment of Name That Shoe. Elisa says, I like that Tiger Claw shirt. I love this Tiger Claw shirt. It's the race shirt. And I feel like this is a race shirt that I'm not going to throw away immediately after. Lately, I've been getting rid of all of them. I normally wear it for the race recap video, and then I'll donate it. In the last couple of years, the only ones that I've saved are the CIM long sleeve, the white one with the bear on it. That one's really nice. And this one. When I did the Outer Belt Ultras that my friend Jamal was race directing, I still have that one. The shirt's falling apart, but I still have that one. But otherwise, I get rid of the shirts. But this one, I really like. It's that rabbit shirt that has the weird collar in the back. This extra... my hair's in the way. Has this extra thing of fabric back here and it has a laser cut hole. So it's a really nice rabbit shirt and it's got the Tiger Claw logo on it. I'm enamored with this logo. I think it's so good. But yeah. All right. Manor Runs is in here, says, yo, what's going on? And Tommy Run says, definitely not a garbage day. Today's been great. Awesome. Good to see you, Tommy. By the way, guys, for any of you Black and Brown runners out there, Tommy is doing a giveaway of he's speaking of giveaways. Tommy's doing a giveaway of some New York City Marathon bibs. Tommy, they're going to need to start giving you a lot more bibs. I don't know how many they gave you, but I've been seeing people talking about it all over the place. So there's going to be a lot of people applying. You're going to have to be saying no to a lot of people And I feel like you should find a way to say yes somewhere. All right. Stevie76 said, "Did I donate blood today?" No, I did not donate blood. I'm AB positive, universal acceptor. I think I'm AB positive. I've been told I'm a universal acceptor. It's relatively rare in the population, and I could take anybody's blood, pretty much. So I don't donate blood. I'm not sure how valuable that is or would be. I used to donate blood a lot until someone told me I was a universal acceptor and rare. Because I can only give to other universal acceptors, I think. Does that sound right? Anyway, but I had my blood tested today. So Sage and Sandy have been trying to get me to do a blood test, just to get a baseline of where my levels are at. They think that because I live in the Midwest, in the northern part of the Midwest, that my vitamin D might be low. I really don't want to be taking supplements. I don't like vitamins. I don't like supplements. They tend, it always messes with my vertigo for some reason. So hopefully everything just looks fine. You know. Speaking of prizes, JC says a Kofuzi prize pack. Like, should I get some stickers? I think maybe I need to get some stickers made, maybe. And I could give out stickers or something. Something else. I've been thinking about like enamel pins, because you guys know I love the enamel. I don't do anything with the enamel pins. They just sit in a little container over there in the basement. But I love enamel pins. I also like magnets and patches. I feel like patches could be fun. I've been thinking about doing a Kofuzi Run Club patch, so you could just sew it onto whatever singlet you wanted. Like an embroidered patch. I feel like that would be fun. All right. And Lisa says, I heard LRS. Who's LRS? I heard LRS are selling the spring gels at half off since they are half the nutritional content. I've been loving the fallout from this spring energy stuff. I've been finding lots of running content creators that I've never seen before who are kind of reporting and talking about the saga, summarizing everything for me in a really nice way. And I just find it really, I don't know why I find it so, like, I'm just enjoying the drama. I don't know. I probably shouldn't be enjoying it as much as I should, but I'm enjoying it. I find it that has great entertainment value. But I know that there's some people getting pissed off about it. A lot of people getting pissed off about it too. So I understand that there's some sensitivity required, but I'm here for it. I'm sorry. All right. Let's see. Yeah, Stevie76 wants to know if Tommy is giving away legal bibs. And Tommy Run says, no, illegal bibs only. And he only has 3. Dude, you gotta be like, I need 10. I need to give away 10, you know? But yeah. Mark Peterson says, I don't know my blood type. Is that bad? And, you know, it's not that useful for me to know my blood type either. Because if anyone asked me, I'd be like, AB positive, I think. Could be negative. I actually don't know. They would have to run a blood test anyway. And the only time it would be useful to be known as a universal acceptor is in some sort of like weird, obscure tragedy or emergency situation. But in that situation, if I'm like unable to communicate my blood type, then, you know, maybe in like a triage natural disaster situation, they'd be like, all right, we're going to give that guy whatever blood we have more of on supply. And then we can give O negative to other people, you know? That's the only reason it would be useful for me. And I think for other people, like, unless you're going to put it on like one of those medical alert bracelets, or like, you know, they made runners versions that don't have the medical alert kind of stigma to it. Unless you're going to do that or tattoo it on yourself somewhere, you know, it's like they're still going to have to blood type you anyway. And if it's an emergency situation, they're going to give you O. Right? I don't know. I actually don't know how all that stuff works, but I don't know. Okay. Devin Patterson says, you know what? Speaking of the vitamin D, everyone's vitamin D is low. Probably. And Sega Dreamcast says you can still donate platelets. Should I do that? Should I be doing that? Is that a good thing to donate? All right. Martha says I should do embroidered patches like the Boston Celebration jacket isn't anymore. Here's what we'll do. We'll do an embroidered giant patch that people can sew onto their Boston Celebration jackets that look exactly like the BAA logo, but instead of a unicorn, it'll have a Kofuzi dragon. I'm sure Boston will love that. That'd actually be that would be funny, but for real though, I would get a cease and desist letter so fast. Yeah, Eric Paramount, and this is the thing that I haven't seen any of the attacks. Like no one's like reposted it or like talked about it, and I guess I don't follow Jason Coop on any socials. But Eric's like, it's sort of fun to see the whole Spring Energy fallout, but sort of Jason Coop going after the Roches and Sage for sport is just weird. But hey, everyone's got a different hobby. Yeah, I listened to the latest Jason Coop podcast while I was mowing the lawn yesterday, thinking that maybe that would be the topic of discussion, and I've listened for like an hour and change, and they never got to it. So I guess it was whatever he was saying. It wasn't on the podcast. I don't know where he was saying what he was saying. I need someone on Instagram Reels or on a YouTube short to summarize the whole thing and give me the he said, she said. I need the tea. Spill it. Oh, Stevie76 says next trivia, guess the blood type. That's fun. You know what I've been trying to do? And maybe I'll be able to do it this summer. A game that I really want to play is the Name That Watch Tan. And what I want to do is try and get any like pro athletes that I meet, if they have a watch tan, to show it to me so I could take a picture like close up, and then we'll zoom out and we'll see who it is. That's my big goal for this summer. Is like pro athletes. I want to photograph your watch tan, and then we'll play a game later. That's my big goal. Maybe I'll ask them their blood type too. Yeah, Sega Dreamcast says, the whole Spring Energy saga must be catching your lawyer brain too. I don't know how litigious Spring is. I don't know. It is in a little bit. I mentioned it yesterday. I'm like, if this is, I don't know. If they knew that the numbers were this low, if they recklessly didn't know that their numbers were this low or that off, it could be a consumer fraud kind of problem. So there's exposure to Spring that way. And I feel like the things that they've been saying and the way that they've been saying them so far, at least from the other summarizations that I've seen on YouTube, seem to indicate that they're trying to both do damage control and also kind of like hopefully prevent some lawsuits from coming. But yeah, my anticipation is not that Spring would be going out and like suing people for like defaming them or whatever. I think that it's going to go the other way around, but who knows? As much as the Spring saga is very interesting to me, aside from the whole Coop thing, which is weird, unless Coop knows that all these other athlete ambassadors and sponsored athletes knew and still promoted the product anyway, you know what I mean? But like, aside from that, it's all fun. But you know what's really uninteresting? Like a lawsuit against Spring. That's just super boring to me. I don't know why. Calvin says, cover that stupid unicorn with the Kofuzi dragon on my Boston jacket. Oh boy. Don't start doing that. That'd be really bad. That would make so many people mad. That would make not only the BAA mad. That would make a lot of Boston Marathon enthusiasts very mad. I don't know which one would be worse. All right. Eric wants to know, is Big Gel the new Big Tobacco? Huh? And Daniel Burton says, yeah, if I'm doing the whole like athlete's watch tan thing, it'd be like, can I see your wrist pics, please? No, see, that's not going to work. I'd have to be like, guys, I'm doing this thing where I'm trying to photo document pro athletes and their watch tans. You know, maybe it still is. It would have to be an athlete that I have rapport with. I couldn't just be like in a mix zone somewhere and be like, hey, Cooper Tier, let me see your watch tan. I feel like he actually would be cool with that. Maybe. But like, I feel like, you know, you couldn't just be yelling that at anybody, you know. Tommy Run says, if you want to piss the Boston folks off, give Tommy 15 bibs to give away. Oh my goodness. People will be writing newsletters about that for months. You know what I mean? I think though that like I've been spending a lot of time. I've been spending a lot of time on social media, a little bit too much. I kind of need to detox, but I've been spending a lot of time, and I feel like the algorithm has sent me back to like the original person who posted like, I don't think if you don't hit the qualifying time, you shouldn't be allowed to get an influencer bib. I think I found like I found the I guess the alpha. You know what I mean? Yeah, but it wasn't that interesting of a post. I just scrolled by, you know. Yeah. All right. Who wants to play the game? You guys want to play the game? Let's get to it. All right. Here we go. Name that shoe. I'll show you a picture, a super close-up picture of a shoe, and you have to guess what it is. There's no points and no prizes, but hopefully we can have some fun. All right. Let's go to the first one. This is the only black shoe that's going to be in the lineup. Here we go. All right. For those of you listening, we're seeing part of an upper, and I'll tell you what the bottom part is. That's part of a TPU, like, or the rubber part, that plastic part that covers back of the heel counter. The upper looks like, I don't know, textiles, and the bottom looks kind of like almost like a Puma skin, black with spots, you know. All right, let's see. We got some guesses in here. Frank says Triumph 20. Matt Byer says Cloud Surfer Trail. Daniel Burton says 1080-13. I don't see the right. There's a lot of other answers in here. I don't see the right one yet. I'll give you guys another second. Calvin says Puma skin, like, you know, like not like a leopard skin, not like a cheetah, but like a Puma is dark. But Pumas are spotted, aren't they? No. So it's kind of like spotted. It's black but spotted. The closest answer. Oh wait, Luis Becerra says BAA just announced that they raised $71.9 million, and that's a record for them. Whew, that's a lot of money. That's a lot. All right. The closest answer is from Super Unjit. He said it's the Mach 5. That's very close. It's actually the Mach 6. And so the part of the shoe that I took it from is, if you look at the back of the heel counter, kind of, I guess not the back, to the side of it, the part where I tried to take the picture zoomed out, or just moving the camera back, so you're kind of getting the same angle. But that's where it is. So if you zoom out from kind of like the outer side of your heel, that's what we were looking at. The Hoka Mach 6. Super Unjit says so close. If there were points today, I give you points for that one, because no one else got anything. No one else even guessed in the Hoka family. So there you go. All right. Martha says, I have that shoe in that color, and I had no idea. All right, let's get to shoe number 2. All right, ready? You guys ready? Number 2. So we're looking at an upper. It looks like a double layer mesh with large holes in it. The color is gray. And the top layer is actually a little bit out of focus. The second layer of the mesh is what the camera actually focused in on. So it's kind of weird. The spaces in between the holes have this weird kind of like filament that's connecting it. That part's very stretchy. And to me, it looks really gross. It reminds me of that part in The Matrix when Neo gets his mouth like sewn shut with skin. Do you remember that part? It's so gross. But it kind of is what it makes me think of. Oh, someone got it right. First guess. A couple of you guys had it right away. A lot of you guys got it right. This was easy. Some of the wrong answers. Super Ninja said Nimbus 25. Calvin says Wave Rebellion Flash 2. That's a good guess. That's the right color. But Calvin had it right first as far as the chat order that I see. As the Speed 4. The upper is very comfortable and very stretchy and very breathable, but every time I look at it, it kind of grosses me out. What's that thing called again? We've talked about it before, where people don't like to look at strawberries very close up, and it freaks them out. I don't have that, but I understand why people will be grossed out. You know. So. Yeah, Martha says it's that phobia. I don't know what it's called. I don't remember what it's called. It's like strawberry phobia or something. Eric says, "Are you putting your shoes under a microscope? What the hell?" I have a really good macro lens, and I just get very close to it. It's easy. I can't get that close when I do video because like my hands just jitter too much, I think. And then, but when I'm just taking photos, it'll let me kind of get that close, so it's fun. Mark Peterson says it's trypophobia. I'm like mildly trypophobic, I guess, or I'm a mild trypophobiac. Sacred Dreamcast confirming trypophobia. Lisa says, I have that phobia and feel freaked out. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay. Let's get to the third one. I don't remember what this is anymore. Okay. This one's hard. Let me get my face off here so you could see more of what's in focus. So we're looking at the, like, I guess the bottom lace loop of a shoe, white upper. We're seeing some kind of like, it's not really a mesh, but it is a pretty breathable upper. You can kind of see like the grid matrix of the filaments that make it strong. Then there's a little TPU kind of overlay on top of where the lace loops come through. And then the shoelace itself is white, but it's mottled. It's like white and like, oh, is that pink? Is that like gray? Little specks in there. And then there's kind of like a meshy tongue. Let's see what you got. Let's see what Tommy Run says. He thinks it's a Brooks something. Is there an all white Brooks? I don't think I've seen an all white Brooks, have I? All right. Matt Byer thinks that this is the Wave Rebellion Flash 2. And Calvin sings Triumph RFG. Mark Peterson says Alpha Fly 3. You know, I have been trying to buy the Alpha Fly 3. It's still out of stock, at least for my size. But I have been trying to buy it for a little while now. I'm sure I could reach out to someone and get it, but I want to be able to buy it. All right. Let me see if anyone has the right answer. This one's a tough one because it's not a shoe that a lot of people have run in. Graham Haynes says, my guess is a running shoe. I feel like you're right. But I feel like the closest answer, without exactly getting it. Oh, wait. Tommy Run says, the Hyperion Joshes are all white? These aren't all white? Oh, interesting. The closest answer so far is from Solomon Ethan Burnaby. It says Solomon. And this is the Solomon S-Lab Spectre. And so like right above where the A is, that's where I took the photo. Or to the left of the A, kind of, is right where I took the photo. Yeah. Tommy Run says, oh, I like those. Yeah, the thing is, I like this shoe a lot. It's just the pricing and also the messaging was way off. I think it's back now, and it's back with a price reduction. Isn't that right? So it's not $250 anymore. Is it $225? No, I don't know. Either way, it's still, if it's in the 200s, I think it's too expensive. But yeah. And Calvin says, nice. That is niche. I guess this is a very niche shoe to be able to recognize from super close up. All right. Let's get to the next one. This is number 4. Is this the 4th shoe? This one you're either going to get right away or you're never going to get it. So what we have here are some red tracks, kind of, and it kind of looks like a track the way that it's curved. And then there are diamonds in between each of the lanes, rubber diamonds, and then there is like a fabric-y type of material underneath all of that. So I feel like, yeah. There's some wrong answers in here, so that's kind of fun. It wasn't super easy. But a lot of you guys have gotten it right away. Some of the wrong answers are, Eric Vensky thinks it's either the Endorphin Speed or Pro. Where'd it go? Eric says Speed or Pro. Shannon says it's the Endorphin something. Matthew L176 says SC Trainer 2. That's not it. The first person that I think had it right is Calvin. Had it Rebellion Pro 2. That is the shoe. I do really enjoy the way that the outsole looks on this shoe. I think it's very pretty. And I never realized that, like, if you looked at a part of it really close, it kind of looks like a track and like exchange zones. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but that's how it ended up being. Ethan also had it right. And who else had it right? Mark kind of had it. Mizuno something. I'll give that to you. Liam Dory also said Mizuno with a lot of O's. Good work, everybody. Mark says a half point. Yes. All right. I don't know. I don't know if there's any more, or if we're in bonus at this point. What's the next one? I feel like I shot 5 shoes and then a bonus, but now that I'm thinking about it, it might just be 4 and then a bonus. But anyway, here's the next shoe. All right. Yeah, so we're already in bonus. I guess I only gave you 4 this week, and then a 5th is a bonus. And I'm calling it bonus because this is not a running shoe. It's a casual shoe. Let me take my face off of here again so you can see. So what we're looking at is the intersection of a couple of materials. The black is white, I think leather. Maybe it's vegan leather, maybe fake leather. And then the other 2 layers are kind of like a fake suede or actually suede. The one on the left is black. The one on the right is cream. And then that little burst of color in the lower left, that's from a gum outsole. So, yeah. I was going to say this is hard because I don't even know the name of this model. And I know I won't remember it until I look at the picture or the next picture. So I was going to say whoever gets the brand correct will get it. But I feel like, and I thought it'd be harder, but you guys got the brand right away. Robert Krieger says Tracksmith. I think if Tracksmith made a casual shoe that looked like this, that'd actually be really, really nice. It's Boggy says Nike Blazers. That's a very good guess. Jen Triangle says New Balance something. Kind of a good guess, maybe. I guess that's a pretty good guess. Fairmont says Decker's crap. I think this is a shoe that I haven't shown to you guys before. It made a brief appearance in a video. I'll explain more in a second. Another vote for Blazer from Brett Reed. But all you guys that are Mark Peterson, another half point, guessing Puma. That's correct. Luis also guessing Puma, and Matthew L176 guessing Puma. Calvin thinks this is my Asics gym shoes, but that's not it. This shoe is the Puma Palermo. So this is a pair of shoes that they gave us when we got to Jamaica as a casual option. But I had already bought my own casual Puma shoes that I wanted to wear on this trip. So I wore those around for the whole trip. I think Tommy's got a pair of these. Tommy was there. But I don't know. I think I'm gonna rock these this summer. They're a fun shoe. Mark Peterson says, "Yeah, I'm up to a full point now." And Calvin says, actually, the Decker shoes would be a great poll because you showed it, but nobody remembers what they look like. Exactly. And I feel like if you could only get a point if you remembered the name, I typed in the names into the spreadsheet and I still never remember what they are. Liam Dory says that this could have been the Diodoro Fettuccine. If they had a Diodora fettuccine, I would rock that shoe. Like a Diodora, like, can you imagine if next year all the Diodora shoes just start being pasta shapes? Like a Diodora tagliatelle and a Diodora, or like a cacio e pepe or a carbonara. That'll be fun. But yeah, I think that's it. That's all the shoes I got. That was fun, guys. Sorry I don't have more. I thought I had done more, but that was fun. Runner Will says, like, I don't even know what I'm wearing most of the time. You know what I've been wearing the most lately? You know what's been high in my rotation? Because it's a great lawn mowing shoe. It's a great watching my kids' soccer games or my kids' softball game shoe, like walking around in the grass. And even just going to the bus stop, running errands. My most worn shoe right now is the Saucony Peregrine 12. Maybe the 11. I don't even know. The yellow ones. That shoe, I've just been loving it. It's really great for, I know we normally talk about how like lawn mowing is a derogatory term on this channel. But the tread on the Peregrine 12 are perfect for pulling up. We got these weeds. They're not clovers, but they're kind of like clovers, but they're really long and they spread out horizontally and they interweave themselves amongst the grass. And so you can't, like, normally I just mow the weeds, but they never get mowed because they just get wider and wider because they stay low. The way to like, get rid of them is you kind of have to like untangle them from the grass and make them kind of like puff up. And if I rub my feet, claw my foot against the ground, it pulls up those weeds, like not pulls them out, but like it dislodges them from the other plants that they're attached to perfectly. So I've just been loving that shoe. Counts as the Saucony weed puller. And I didn't want to mention it because then every time now I have a Saucony shoe, you're gonna be like, are those gonna be good for mowing the lawn? And I don't want to say that Saucony is a lawn mowing brand. But that particular shoe, it's the most versatile. It's not the most versatile shoe in my collection right now, but it is the shoe that I do find myself wearing the most often. Davin Patterson says, I mow the original Applefly. No, you don't. Do you really? Frank says, is it Creeping Charlie? I don't know. Let me do a quick Google search for Creeping Charlie. Does it have little yellow blooms? Let me look up a Google. No, because that's not it. Creeping Charlie's not it. I don't know. Do I need to take a picture for you guys and show it to you guys next time? Okay. You know what I'll do? I'll make it a reel for the Kaloozy Run Club channel. I will get my Peregrine 12s and show you how good they are at clawing up some of this weed that I got. Matthew L176 says buttercups. Is that what it is? I'm looking at buttercups weed. I think that you're right. You know what I don't like? On Google, when you Google something, you get an AI overview answer, and I am not a fan of that. Especially because a lot of times at this phase, the AI overview answer, let me show you guys this. Should we share this screen? Let's share this screen. So I'm looking up buttercups, right? And here we go. No, not this. Remove that. I want this. Yeah, so we got the buttercups, right? But if we look at it, let's zoom in a little bit. So we get this AI overview whenever you look up something. I don't like that because a lot of times this text right here is usually just like a verbatim copy of like whatever like the first or second answer is. So it's not summarizing. It's just plagiarizing straight up a lot of the time. So I don't know. I'm not a fan of the AI overview Google search result. But let's look up some images. Let's see if that's what it is. It kind of looks like that. It kind of do be like that. I think that's it. I think it's buttercups. This one right here. Just keep this weed out of your pasture. I feel like that's it. The one on the right, the big one. So I got buttercups. Now I feel bad because that sounds so lovely. Now I feel bad about pulling that up. what am I supposed to do with that information now? All right. Mark Peters is going to show you some of this weed that I've got. Yeah. Daniel Bryn says maybe it's octopus weeds. It could be octopus weeds. I don't know. C. McKellar thinks it's oxalis. Is it oxalis? Oxalis weed? Oh, it could be that. Maybe. No, maybe it is. Oh, no, this is it. Not buttercup. I feel less bad about it. Yellow wood sorrel. That's for sure what it looks like. Yeah, but it's all in my grass. Are you guys seeing this? You guys aren't seeing this. Sorry. That one. Oxalis yellow wood sorrel. I don't know how that's related to buttercup or not, but that's what I got in my yard. A bunch of it. Thanks, Steve. Calvin says, the Google AI answers are hilarious. Pulling info from random Reddit comments. Super Unjit says, the AI overview will pull sarcastic responses from Reddit. LOL. Will it really? That's so funny. I feel like people have been putting... I've been seeing people post stuff about that where like AI will give a response to like... Someone posted a long time ago a sarcastic secret, quote unquote, to the perfect cheese pull for your grilled cheese sandwich. And like sarcastically, this person tweeted out, the secret to a great cheese pull is to put a whole bunch of Elmer's glue in your cheese. And like someone did a search for perfect cheese pull, grilled cheese, and then like it brought up like verbatim, put a quarter cup of Elmer's glue. Crystal is better, but white will still work, in the answer. And I thought that was funny. Deezer Aperture says, use the web version instead of all. Where's the web version? Oh, I see. There's a web version. I'll have to figure that out. Yeah, web will give you old Google, Deezer Aperture says. Interesting. Sega Dreamcast says, if you have buttercups in your lawn, you will poop your pants if you don't read that AI description close enough. Oh, really? Okay, I have to go to that. Daniel Burton says, guess that plant next game? I feel I feel like as this becomes more of an old suburban dude live stream, it's gonna be like name that bird call. What's this weed? That one's kind of fun. I think guess that plant name is probably a little bit more of a sponsor-friendly name, maybe. Not that anyone sponsors this, but yeah. And this is here. He goes, hi, Kaboozing, everybody. Is this a garden channel now? Have I been away that long? And this is good to see. I was just thinking about you the other day. It's so funny. No, we just got off on a little tangent. But I'll have to show you guys how good the Peregrine 12 is for pulling up these oxalis, the wood sorrel. Wood sorrel sounds like an animal, doesn't it? That doesn't sound right. Yellow wood sorrel. I don't know. Calvin says, is there bird watching but for weeds? If there is, my yard is great for it. We are the embarrassment of this part of the street. Like my one neighbor on one side, he was like, there were too many weeds growing out of the yard, so we just resodded the entire yard. And on the other side, I just think he keeps his modes so close that you just never see that he has weeds. But like when it was like dandelion time, like everyone's yard is like very lush and green. And I don't know what people are doing to get such thick lawns. Like their grass is like, you couldn't brush it. You know what I mean? It's just thick, like fur. And mine is like wispy and full of weeds and just dandelions everywhere. I don't know. You know what I think though about like about AI? Like people talk about AI all the time, and I'm still not sure what the difference is between an algorithm, a sophisticated algorithm, an algorithm that can even make predictions, and machine learning and stuff like that. I just don't even understand. Like, I will feel like artificial intelligence is a real thing when AI starts inventing its own language. You know what I mean? Because you know how like the English language evolves from English speakers speaking it, right? Like, I don't know. For a while, I got into this weird rabbit hole on YouTube of people speaking ancient dialects, and so like one video was like, if you were transported back 1,000 years in England, would you be able to understand the English kind of thing? I feel like if AI can really iterate that quickly and evolve and learn that quickly, like at some point it's just going to stop speaking English, right? Or it might have to like translate itself back to English to us, but it will have its own language. And once we figure that out, then I'll be like, okay, maybe this is real. Like if it's a language we don't understand and we have to find like cryptographers or whatever to figure out and understand the computer's language, then I feel like there's artificial intelligence. But before then, I'm not sure. I don't understand what people mean when they say artificial intelligence. I actually have no idea. Mark Peterson says, if AI has its own language, it's already too late for us. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how it works. Martha says, I'm sure it'd be easy for AI to be programmed to invent languages. Would it? I don't know how any of that stuff really works. Matthew W176 say it will be a non-binary. Interesting. Well, now there's a mix of like AI conversations and yard work in the chat. Jung Boy says, I have the same problem in my yard. Maybe because I put time in running and no time for yard work. That's what it is for me. Like I would, anytime that I have time to mow the lawn, I'd be like, I'd rather just go for a jog right now. And Super Injit says, I have plenty of students trying to pass off AI as their work, and it's still really easy to spot. That's good. I'm glad. They can't just make it like, Super Injit, I don't know what grade you teach, but like, I feel like the prompt would be like, can you write me a report on World War II from the perspective of a fifth grader who has mid grades? You know what I mean? Like, you can't just tell it to do that. I feel like it should be able to like intentionally have the dialect of a fifth grader. I don't know. Elisa says, all hail Skynet. That's fun. Someone is texting me. I figured out how to turn on Do Not Disturb, guys. It's on now. And Runner Roll says, yeah, AI got a little too crazy a few years ago, and they had to unplug a few systems because it was created other instances. So it was reproducing itself. Interesting. Yeah, I still don't feel like I understand. And it says, like, I would have been speaking Gaelic if I lived a few hundred years ago. Yeah, I feel like you don't have to go back that far for you. Like, whenever they have time travel in movies, and I know it's a movie and it's also backwards time travel, all things. But I'm just like, you wouldn't even be able to understand people if you went more than a couple hundred years back. You know what I mean? Calvin Huang wants to know, will AI ever respect embargoes? No, it probably will not. AI will create a different video about the product and post that, and then it'll be different enough that it's not actually that. It's never going to respect embargoes. Or maybe it'll just blow right through them because that's what people do. So it learned from people. And Eric says, yeah, you know what? Even in college, though, it's easy to spot the AI essay. That's interesting. Do they all sound the same? Because I feel like that actually would be a good kind of like check on whether it's just programmatic or whether it's actually AI synthesizing something. But I guess if you ask it to synthesize the same thing over and over again, it would give you the same answer over and over again, right? I don't know. CV76 says we need AI to detect AI. I thought that we were doing that already. I don't know. Super Ninja says, I had a ninth grader do that. In other words, try and tell the the AI to give him an essay in the format of a ninth grader. And the first sentence was like, dude, you should totally read the Iliad. That's funny. And Superman just sounded like a 90s dad trying to sound like a teenager. Hello, fellow kids. Martha says, I couldn't understand people when I lived in North Carolina. Yeah. I wonder, do you guys remember for a long time ago? I guess it wasn't that long ago. There was a while where there was like a meme going around where they took, was it Irish people? Northern Irish people? Or was it Scottish people? That like, it wouldn't understand voice activated, like voice recognition didn't understand those people. And so like people were trying to like talk to like Siri and stuff, and they just would never understand the dialect or the accent. Does that still happen, or has that been resolved? That must have been resolved. That like the voice recognition has figured that out at this point. I don't know. All right. Shannon says, I want to hear Co's beef with the shoe embargo we talked about on Threads. It's the same stuff. It's nothing new. It's really boring. I got a shoe. The embargo's not for a little while. Coincidentally, the same day I received the shoe, which was ahead of the embargo, I saw a video on YouTube that is a deep dive of the shoe with a product person from that brand talking to the person on the video. And I'm just like, and it's been up. It's still up. So I'm like, is this an embargo or no? Like, is that what we're doing now? We're giving some people like non-embargoes and everyone else has to follow the embargo. Like, I guess if that makes some people happy, cool. But I'm just like, I don't understand. And what's funny too is like I've been in contact. So there are multiple shoes that I have right now that are under embargo, or shoes that are about to arrive to me that are under embargo. And so I post that very cryptically and just say like, hey, embargoes continue to be ridiculous. I got an email from one brand saying like, hey, we're really sorry. We know that there's some images floating around on the internet. The embargo, we're still trying to keep it holding to that date. We are having some delays on getting you that shoe, but like we're doing our best. And I'm like, I'm not even talking about you guys. I appreciate you guys for reaching out and checking in with me, but it's not even about you guys. But it's just the same thing. It's just like, you can't always, there's limits on what you can do as the brand, you hope that people follow the rules, but whatever. Realistically, with it being whatever date that it's going to be, I almost said the date, whatever date it's going to be, I've got such a backlog on shoes. I probably wasn't going to hit the embargo date anyway. I always like to, if I can, at least on Reels. I usually don't do a YouTube video anymore on embargo days, but I was going to try to, but I don't think I'm going to hit it anyway. And now, because it's just like, all right, someone already has the video out multiple days, and let's say an undefined number of days beforehand, maybe weeks beforehand. So like, well, there goes the magic. So that's all. Wait. Runner Will says, like, after a while, the AI is going to go Highlander. There can be only one. I had not considered that possibility. I've always been comfortable with the idea of like the like a Matrix style AI or like Terminator Skynet style AI, where the AI feels like these humans are really a drag and they're trying to get rid of the humans. What if we're just bystanders, innocent bystanders in an AI versus AI war of machines? And they're like commandeering all our means of production. I had not thought of that. I like that. That would also, a lot of lives and resources and things would be lost. It'd be very expensive and wasteful. But that also is something that I would find pretty entertaining. like the spring energy debacle. Matthew L176 says, name that AI generated carbon shoe. I kind of like this. I don't like AI, but I feel like maybe we should ask AI to make some shoes for us. Should we do that? And then we'll make that a video. We'll do that as a, I gotta figure out, I don't know what this is going to be yet. AI design a shoe or AI name a shoe. Okay. I feel like this is going to be a fun exercise for us to do together. I got to figure out how to use some of these AIs, I guess, in terms of how the prompts and stuff work. And then we will direct AI to get together on some sort of episode, like an AI bonanza, an AI adventure, choose your own AI adventure. I don't know. Eric says, in response to a paper that has been submitted by AI that a student passes off as work, he says, I have AI generate a set of comments and give the grade a C and then wait for the student to come see me. Yes, I'm serious and it works. I kind of really like that. Would your administration be mad if they found out about this? Interesting. I like that idea a lot, though. Danny Guglielza says, there's already been an AI-generated beer recipe. Can we get AI to make us noon tablets for beer? We were talking yesterday that it's not possible to make alcoholic beer dehydrated. Maybe AI can figure that out. And it says, there's a sketch of Glaswegians. Is that so people from Glasgow? Glaswegians? Yeah, this is the one I'm talking about. There's a sketch of Glaswegians in a lift trying to get to floor 11 with speech recognition. You need to understand the accent for it to be funny, though. No, it's funny. I don't understand the accent at all. I definitely have seen that video. But I keep thinking, like, is that real, though? Is there a speech recognition elevator? That doesn't seem real. But the video was funny, even if it's not real. I don't know. You guys are all guessing which shoe I'm angry about for the embargo. Yeah, that's funny. Gossip, I don't make this. We got to play a game called Name That Embargo. That's funny. We can play a game called Name That Embargo Breaker. We'll do like an embargo breaking history. The right answer will be Kofuzi on accident, like for most of them. But you know, it'll still be kind of funny. Calvin says, this is the theme of the Gerald Dunn video you shared. Being first isn't special. There's value to it for sure. But it depends, like, yeah. But yeah, there was a lot of stuff in that Gerald Dunn video. Did you guys see? So the Gerald Dunn video was about like how camera trips work and like the ethics of that and how it can lead to bias, even if you're trying to fight against it because of the nature of the scenario. He talks about a lot of other things too. It was a really good, thought-provoking video essay. And I agree with a lot of things. There's some stuff where I feel like he's maybe a little bit further stricter or just has a position that I think is not necessarily, is unduly harsh. But there was a response yesterday, not yesterday, maybe yesterday. I saw it yesterday. Petapixel. They put out a podcast response. Well, they have a podcast, and they talked. One of the 3 segments that they had was a response to that. That was also really good, and I feel like I'm very aligned with Gerald Dunn, but also very aligned with Petapixel in the way they take it as like it's an opportunity as well to gain information, and they also do a lot of work while they're there. So it's worth watching. Have you guys seen that? Anyone? I don't know. Probably not, but maybe. Calvin says, as far as breaking embargoes, I feel Thomas lets it slip more than you. Haha. Actually, I don't think so. I feel like Thomas is very good about it. And because my guess is because he has the secret weapon of Megan. But maybe it is Thomas too. Because remember, you got to remember, Thomas comes from the agency side. So he's been on the other side of people breaking his embargo. I imagine. I actually don't know that for sure. But he comes from the agency side. And so I'm guessing he has a different level of respect for the embargo. And I feel like he's one that's very good about it. He would be the least likely one to do it. There was that one time at Thierry, but that wasn't him. That was someone on his team. And the situation was the brand left the shoe out at an after party or an evening party. So it was, I don't necessarily blame Thomas and team for that one. So, but I feel like I'm pretty high on the list of accidental, but I'm very low. I'm the lowest on the list of intentional or reckless. I'm negligent maybe, but not reckless. You know what I mean? Johnny Dodgen says, maybe AI can prevent breaking embargoes. Do you think I could just ask it, is this shoe under embargo? When can I start talking about it? Do you think it would know? How would it know? The only way it would know is if it's creeping and crawling through our emails. But Calvin does say that, and I think this part is true. I feel like Thomas says something, Meg goes, oh no. And Thomas goes, what? Well, you've all seen it online anyways. Yeah, I feel like they do definitely push boundaries. They get as close to the line as they can, but I don't feel like they do it on purpose. And Martha says, what do you mean by agency? Because they used to work, Thomas and Megan used to work at a PR firm or PR agency, right? Isn't that their background? That's what I thought. Yeah, so that's what I mean by agencies. They used to work on the PR side of things. They used to work for the brands. I don't know. I don't think it was it wasn't all the same brands, but a lot of brands. But yeah, I guess so. And Gentleman Triangle says, I think that's right, Go. That's my understanding. Yeah, Calvin says, as far as embargoes go, I didn't sign no NDA and let it rip. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that's one way to look at it as well. But on the other hand, it's just kind of like there's professional courtesies that are extended. Do you want the shoe early or not? I think that for example, for me, I'm reference size, so it's usually really easy for me to get shoes early. If I were not reference size, I would definitely follow all the rules and make sure I never made anyone mad. You know what I mean? Not in terms of not saying bad things about shoes that are bad, right? But I mean following embargoes, that kind of thing. Responding if maybe you posted a picture too early on accident, or maybe when you were testing a shoe, you accidentally included footage of you running during some other video. You know what I mean? So, just professional courtesies. If we're professionals here, we got to act like professionals. You know what I mean? So, that's why I try to follow it. Because, frankly, I'm going to be late anyway. So, I never considered a due date. But I'm usually late. And General Triangle says, isn't the whole embargo agreement all based on the retribution premise? I.e., if you break it, you get blacklisted from future pre-releases and events. No, because I've done it on accident a bunch of times. And they still call me back, I guess. But it's more along the lines of here's a new product. At least how I interpret it is the brand saying, here's a new product. We're all really excited for you to try it. We don't want to just drop it on you and have you try and make content right away. We also recognize that it might be unfair if someone lives 1 day's worth of shipping away from us, but another person lives 2 or 3 days of shipping away from us, that person is at a disadvantage because they won't have the product for those extra crucial early days. And so as a way to kind of level that playing field, it's like, here's a time that we'd like to hold off on it. And the main thing being like, we want to respect your opinion. So we want to give you enough time to actually make content about it, test it, and use it. So that way you're not at a disadvantage because you haven't had a sufficient amount of time before it's time to make comments. So I feel like that's what it is. But yeah, if you're breaking the embargoes, then you're going to be, if you make someone else's job harder, they're not going to want to keep working with you. So I feel like that's the other thing about it too. And I understand it. Like, I get mad when I start seeing stuff about shoes like 6 months ahead of time. One, I think it's very silly when you have a shoe that's not anywhere near the end of its product life cycle and already the next one is available to see. And two, it's like, if it's been coming for 6 months, by the time it's here, I'm tired of it already, So like, that's why I feel like I'm happy to agree with the embargo. I've been asking brands to not send me stuff months ahead of time, but also I know that with some brands, some brands are more organized than others. So whenever it's time to ship shoes out, they ship them. And so sometimes I have a shoe that sits on my shelf over there for like 3 months, and then I forget about it. And then the embargo date lifts and I'm like, oh, I forgot. I need to make a video about the Vongo, So that's kind of how things go with the embargoes and why I like to adhere to them, but why I get frustrated by them a lot too. And Calvin says, and we'll end on this one. Well, it looks like you guys have a lot of good questions, so we'll keep going. Calvin says, do you find your views suffer from not posting on embargo lift day? I feel like if you miss the day, it's better to just post it when you're ready down the road. I would say for shorts, yes. For long form YouTube videos, not really. I don't think so. I think it's also my style to wait or not rush. And I think that's a position that like a privilege I have from my position having been in this space for a long time, and that YouTube will still show my video even though it's older. If I were a newer YouTuber or a smaller channel, I'd be much more aggressive about trying to get my videos and reviews ready by embargo lift day. I'm not a new channel anymore. I'm a little bit bigger of a channel, so I don't need to rush anymore. And so I could feel like I could take my time. So only in short form do the reels suffer. But even then, not a ton. If I don't make it that day, I usually wait until like the entire buzz on short form goes away. And then I'll post like a week later. That's kind of how I see it. General Triangle says, do the brands have schedules on when they release new shoes to avoid tripping over other brands releasing similar shoes at the same time, or all just random? I don't think that they coordinate. I hope they're not coordinating. Because if they're coordinating about that, who knows what else they might be colluding on price-wise, which could be problematic. So I don't think so. I do think that some shoes tend to release at the same time every year, so you kind of have an idea. Although that's been changing ever since the pandemic. Everything's been kind of shuffled. But I think that they generally have times when they release certain shoes in their lineup. But I don't think there's like a shared thing. Although Martha was showing me something that like one of the retailers had. They had like a calendar that was months out in terms of what all the release dates were going to be. If the retailers have that, then the other brands certainly have it. But, like, I think that maybe means that they could push back a release, but like, lead times to make shoes take a long time. So like maybe you're warehousing things like a couple weeks less and rushing to get them onto shelves, but there's not much you can do to change your schedule ahead, I think. Anyway, I don't have any experience on that side of the business. Kevin says, it's good for us consumers to know early if it's a major change in a shoe, then we know to stock up on the previous one we might like. That's true. That's a good point. But I think that like you could do that with a month left. You could do that with 3 weeks left, typically. Although shoes like Super Blast, we were talking about Super Blast yesterday. I can't find any in my size right now if I wanted to. But, yeah. Devin Patterson says, what's this shelf you're talking about with all these embargo shoes? Can you show us quick? Yeah, no. And General Triangle says, well, yeah, I agree. Sometimes by the time you figure out that a new shoe is coming, it's too difficult to get the prior version in your size. That's true. That's true. CV76 says, when it comes to embargoes, post a video at 12:01 a.m. Yeah, but if it's 12:01 a.m., 12:01 a.m. where? 12:01 a.m. Japan, 12:01 a.m. Eastern time. So a lot of times embargoes do have a timestamp as well. So a lot of times most brands will tell me like, hey, it's going to be, I don't know, July 1st, for example. And I'll say July 1st, 10 a.m. Eastern. I'll just throw out a time just to see if they have one. And sometimes they'll be like, yeah, that sounds good. And other times there'll be a specific time. And usually what happens on those days, I'll have it ready ahead of time. For Instagram Reels, I know you technically can schedule Reels, but that never works for me. And sometimes I've accidentally posted stuff early. I took it down real fast, but like, even though I hit schedule, it just posted it right away. So I always have to manually upload my Reels on Instagram. And usually what happens, I'll have the draft, I'll have it ready, copies ready, post videos ready. And when I wake up on embargo day, if like Thomas has already put up his, then I'll post mine right away, regardless of what time it is. Emily Heller's always usually really good about embargoes as well. She would be someone that I would look at first. I'm like, oh, does this shoe come off embargo? I would look at Emily Heller's channel because she's in the media. Like she's a journalist. I don't know. Does she consider herself? She works in the news, so she knows how it works. So I would feel like I find her reliable. Johnny Dodgen says the biggest embargo foobar was the Great British Bake Off judge giving away the winner of the series the day before the show because she was on holiday in a different time zone. Is that true? Really? Oh, that's amazing. I never heard of that. That's so good. And Martha says that time that she saw the calendar was based on the retailer's trip to TRE, but they do get more specific dates a bit later. That's true. The dates do change frequently. That's what makes embargoes hard. A lot of times they'll move. And I think a lot of time that moves because of either like, hey, this other shoe isn't performing. If another shoe is ready and there's enough inventory, can we move it up? Or can we get like a expedited shipment of product? So the dates do move. It does make it hard. What I've been trying to do is put Post-its on all the shoe boxes so that I know what they are. I don't always do that though. All right. I think that's a good place to leave it for today, guys. That's been a lot of fun. Sorry, I went a little bit long today. Tomorrow, I don't know if we'll have an unboxing or not. I'm not sure. I do have something I can unbox, but I wanted to order something else to go with it too. So I'm waiting on that other thing to come in. If not, we'll just have another live stream. Same time as today, 1 p.m. Central Time. Hopefully I'll see you then tomorrow. In the meantime, be safe out there, everybody. Thanks.